What's up YouTube and Amazon? Jefferson here with the starters page, and I got this really cool video stabilizer for your smartphone. This is the EVO SP, and I got this one on Amazon by the company name of EVO Gimbals. You can find them on their website, evogimbals.com. I'll link everything in the description box below if you guys are curious in getting one yourself. I did do an unboxing video, which you guys could click right here, and I also did a setup video, which you guys could click right here as well. So even though this is actually really easy to set up, I did want to just make a dedicated video on how to set it up to show you how simple it is and to make it easier for you guys to find on the internet. So this is actually constructed out of CNC alloy, which is really sweet in my opinion. I love the build quality, it feels absolutely premium, and especially for the price, it's definitely up to that in my opinion. And it does a really good job at stabilizing your shots. I think one of my favorite features on here is how versatile it is with smartphones. So what I mean by that is that I actually could hold small smartphones like my iPhone 5S, and it could actually hold up smartphones like the Galaxy S5, the iPhone 6 Plus, and the Galaxy Note, which is really awesome in my opinion. Unfortunately, I don't have the iPhone 6 Plus nor the Galaxy Note, so I could only demonstrate it with the biggest phone I have, which is the Galaxy S5. It's super easy to install, and I mentioned everything in my setup video, so I definitely recommend going in that video. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more on that. I vlogged with this thing for 2 days, and never had I had any issues. There was one point when I was vlogging with this where you could kind of hear a little ticking noise on here, and I'll show you guys how that sounds like right now. An interesting vlog, let me see. Alright, so I was just testing something out. So that's how it sounds like, and the only reason for that is because how the gimbal is actually set up. And what I found out during my testing throughout the whole time I was using this is when the gimbal is actually set up like this, where it goes to the side, it makes that noise. So I actually contacted the EVO Gimbals for this reason, and what they told me is this gimbal is actually designed to have the motor facing on the right side of you. So like so, as long as you guys have the control unit right here, make sure the motor is on the right side, and if it's on the left side, that's when you will actually get that clicking noise. And the purpose of that is because the motor starts to hit the mechanical stop, and it would actually stop the motor from overextending itself. So that's actually a really awesome, safe feature to have. And once you actually turn it on, it's stable. You guys could hear it on my lapel. It does not move. Just take a look at that. Super steady. I love it. However, once I turn it off and switch it to the other side and then power it on, you guys could hear that noise, that rattling noise. Also, it accepts 2 lithium-ion batteries, which I believe is the 18350, which has a 900 milliamp battery on there. It's actually pretty sweet. It lasted me 2 whole days without actually charging it. So 1 full charge, 2 whole days of use of vlogging. So that's really awesome on that end. It has its own separate charger, which I personally like, because if you were to get more batteries for this, you could just charge it with that, and it accepts a micro USB cable, which is actually really awesome. It also has a built-in micro USB cable here. You have 4 dynamic modes, which definitely, in my opinion, gives you that versatility of filming. I'm an inspired cinematographer, so I love trying to get that perfect moment and make it look like a movie. And this, when I was vlogging, made it super easy. And I personally like doing a little bit of time lapse in my vlogs to kind of make it a little bit different compared to other videos out there. And what I actually noticed is time lapsing with this, not stationary but moving, when I was actually traveling with this in the car or walking around or whatever you're doing, it makes the shot so much more dynamic and very interesting because you're able to walk around, keep it like this, relatively sturdy. You don't even have to keep it that sturdy. You could kind of move it around. But what I've noticed is that it keeps it leveled. And when I did my time lapse, it looks really good. Made it seem like I was purposely trying to get that shot, which I actually wasn't. So that's a huge feature for me that I love. Time lapse on here is just gorgeous in my opinion. So for smartphones that's a little bit bigger, like the iPhone 6 Plus and the Galaxy Notes, it does require to have a counterweight, which is included. All you have to do is screw it on right here. So that's not much of a big deal if you guys do care about that. You can always leave it on. But I did notice is that when you guys have that counterweight on, it cannot actually swing across. So me personally, I know that that would kind of annoy me, but most of the time, especially when you guys have it on, obviously, it would always stay in this position. So I wouldn't know if that would annoy me just because it won't go like that, but definitely something I did want to point out. The panning and tilting on here is really awesome. And the other thing that kind of actually shocked me is how quiet the motors were. I actually could not hear any of the motors when trying to pan or tilt. So all you could hear is just the button, but not the motor. And you can even control the speed of the button by slowly releasing it. Which is actually really awesome. So that's like a huge bonus on my end. The one thing that would grind my gears a lot is when you're trying to pan or tilt and you could hear that stupid motor. So that would definitely not be an issue right here. One thing that might get you is you can hear the buttons. So pressing on these buttons, you can definitely hear that. So that's kind of disappointing, but considering it's on here, I would definitely recommend using a external audio recorder on here. So you could just plug in like a Video Mic Pro, an external microphone that would just capture it. That should help minimize it, especially since this is actually all metal. It goes up right here and the rubber right here actually helps reduce it. You could still hear it, so I would recommend it in my opinion. You have a tripod mount right here, which is actually kind of neat, and the reason why I say that is because you can remove this whole mount on here with your phone on, and you could just mount your smartphone on a tripod if for whatever reason you did need to transition. So that's actually pretty neat. I love that versatility. And you could adjust the back right here. So if you have a bigger phone that needs to get that clearance, you could adjust it to accommodate that height difference. So that's pretty much it, guys. If I missed anything, make sure you guys put them in the comment box below. I'm more than willing to answer any questions you guys may have. All in all, this is the EVO SP. I love it. Got it on Amazon, as I mentioned earlier, from X Pro Heli. Love this thing. Battery life is really good. Never had any issues with it on a single charge. As I mentioned, build quality feels really good in my opinion. The clip, the mount itself is actually really strong. For me, it actually took a couple times mounting and unmounting my phone to kind of break it in a little bit. So if you guys have a big phone like the iPhone 6 Plus or the Note, you might have a little hard time in the beginning, but after a while, you guys should be good. But that's pretty much it, guys. That's my review of this EVO SP. If you have any questions, as I just mentioned, make sure you guys put them in the comment box below. And like always, guys and girls, take care a lot. So let's actually start off from the left to the right. All right, so this one right here is your lithium ion charger. And